Mother gives birth to alien baby. I don't think so. Use your common sense. As baby boomers, we have a lot of history, and a lot of these scams have been around for a long time. The only difference is now they are electronic. I still remember going into the grocery store for the first time and looking at the magazines that were near the checkout and seeing the big headlines, "Alien Baby Found on Earth." It's really important to understand that baby boomers are not dumb or stupid for falling for phishing scams. They just don't know what to look for. So what I'm going to do today is I'm talking about actually spear phishing. Spear phishing is a real targeted attack on somebody. And I'm going to talk a little bit about what spear phishing is and how you can avoid it, because it really is one of the most prolific attacks on the internet, and it's the attack that many baby boomers and a lot of other people fall prey to. We all know that being stupid is very different than being poorly educated, so my job is to educate you. I don't know too many people that were sucked into those magazines, but I guess there were a few. And I've always actually told everybody in cybersecurity, if it looks like a duck and it walks like a duck, then it probably is a duck. Just use your common sense. The next thing that happened is that people all of a sudden saw these emails saying, "You have won $1 million and you better call this number." They were usually misspelled. They had all kinds of typos in them. But we had to get over that, and now the cyber criminals are getting much slicker. These hackers really know what they're doing, and they're targeting people in the worst possible way. They're targeting you as an individual, and that's why it's called spear phishing. They find out all kinds of things about you, and they target you exactly, so you think that, well, this person might know me or this might be legitimate, but it's pretty easy to figure out that they're not. Some of the new swindles kind of resemble the old door-to-door or mail or phone scams that we were used to in the past, but they take full advantage of the efficiency of communication in the internet. The internet has proven to be an amazing resource for baby boomers. It opens up good communication with family, it opens up the ability to find new hobbies, but it also opens up the ability for scammers to get in and take advantage of what you don't even know to look for. Many of these solicitations take advantage of things like the sob story or belong to charities that don't exist. I want to make sure that you know that whatever you're clicking on in the internet is going to be something that is going to take you where you want it to go and not going to take advantage of you not knowing. There are a lot of smart people online that just don't have the information to keep them safe in the cyber world. I have this amazing 89-year-old aunt who is very computer savvy. She actually has a Macintosh computer and she does a tremendous amount of research on it, and she educates herself constantly. But unfortunately, she was the target of a spear phishing attack. She is very smart. But she was taken in by somebody who contacted her that said, "Your antivirus is out of date." She thought she was doing the right thing, so she clicked on the link, and it looked like it was a link that was going to an Apple product. And at that point, she was taken to a place where a hacker could basically have some communication with her. It was a terrible experience. We were very fortunate that the hacker did not get into her bank accounts. She was very smart. She actually called me up immediately to tell me what had happened. The hacker wanted to contact her by telephone. So unfortunately, she gave this hacker her telephone number, but she was smart enough to copy down the number that it was coming from in order to check. Now, once the hacker had her telephone number, he could have a conversation with her. And you know, people are very vulnerable to social engineering. She was good. She was asking the right questions. She hung up the phone without giving him any sort of information, and then she called me. Now, it was very interesting because for a few days afterwards, actually, probably only one day, he continued to call her. It was very upsetting for my aunt. I don't want you to have any problems like that. So what I'm going to do is going to give you some tips about how you can identify these spear-phishing emails. And you got to have a good eye. You have to take time. You really have to read things. But I know you can do it because baby boomers are very, very smart. I'm going to give you 5 things that you can do to try to protect yourself from phishing email. Always be suspicious of emails that are asking for sensitive information because email is not a secure form of communication. Organizations that you already do business with know your account numbers and they don't ever ask for them in an email. Number 2. Never respond to an email request for any sort of personal information. Be really careful. Even if you think it might be legitimate, don't give information. Actually, call the company and see if they've made a request for the information. See if they actually did send you an email. Be aware of phone phishing scams. If somebody requests personal information on a phone call, and you didn't initiate the phone call, don't give them any information. Just tell them that you'll call back. And definitely don't call them back at any number that they give you. Look up the number for the company and call them directly. Never follow the links in an email that you suspect might not be legitimate. If you're unsure of a link, don't click it. If you hover your cursor over it, and the link doesn't match the link address that you think it's going to, don't click it. Just good advice. Don't click any links that are on the computer that you aren't absolutely sure of. Don't buy things online unless you're in a place where the transaction is secure. Make sure that the website has an HTTPS in the URL, or what's the little menu bar in the top, and that there's a small lock icon on the address bar. Even taking these precautions does not necessarily mean that you will be safe. Be very cautious about what you share on social media and consider only connecting with people you already know. Also, be sure to use the privacy settings on all of your social media and online accounts. These imposters are so smart that they often make themselves sound like a good friend of you or your family because they know so much about you from gathering information from the social media accounts. The internet is a dangerous place, but it's also a very exciting place. So use common sense, be careful, look with your eyes. These are just a few of the things that you can do to try to protect yourself on the internet. Be senior smart. If anything seems suspicious, just don't do it. And as I've said many times before, seniors and baby boomers are smart. Use your common sense. The internet is amazing. It has opened up all kinds of new avenues of communication. Communication with family, communication with friends, communication about hobbies that you have. But it has also opened up the ability for these scammers to really, really get into your life and make a big mess of it. I'm actually off to see if my daughters have posted any new pictures of my grandchildren. It always makes my day. I hope you've learned something. I hope you learned that it's pretty easy to try to protect yourself, at least from most things on the internet. If you've enjoyed this, please give me a like. I've put the links down below to my Facebook and my Instagram accounts as well, and the website. So go be safe on the internet. Make sure that you educate yourself, and above all, have fun.